What is going on, people? Welcome to Throw It On, episode 404, I believe. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez,
Sup, people? How's it going?
Carlos Romero,
Yo.
Brett Murdoch,
What's up, people?
and Brian Manjoma.
What up? What up? What up?
All right. By the way, Carlos, you're a little low, or was that just me?
I am talking. I am talking. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're pretty low.
Okay.
I'll look it up on my end.
You look it up. Look it up. All right. So for you audio listeners, I guess the visual guys too, you may notice a little bit of a change here. I am not using my usual equipment because I'm getting all of that wrapped up so I can do my big move. By the way, I still haven't announced that publicly, and I'm not sure if I will because I'm pretty sure the haters will come at me.
Yo, man, where you living?
Where you living, man? I come over to beat your fucking ass, you know? So we don't want to deal with that. But obviously, the Throwdown family gets to hear it. Manny is streaming, and yeah. By the way, the reason I said I
Wait,
don't know what episode because I don't have my show notes, so I don't know what episode we're doing.
Wait a minute. We may have
Are we
to do
on?
this. We may have to do this again because I'm not seeing anybody in our chat. Are we? Are we doing it?
Yeah, it's yeah.
Can you
Say
check?
something.
Yeah, check the thing. I may have to switch it again. We may have to do this
Uh-oh.
again because
Yo, Carlos, are we live, bro? Uh oh.
Yo, can you hear me?
yeah.
We hear you. Carlos, are we live on Twitch?
Yeah.
Okay,
We
good.
are live on Twitch.
Okay, good.
Good. All right, fantastic. All right, we're
But,
here. Yeah.
I think we're low.
You
We're
think
low.
you're
Man,
low?
you can turn that shit up.
I'll turn you all up.
I think Manny sounds good.
Well, remember, it's
Tony's-
coming from Manny's end, so he needs to just bump it up so it sounds fine.
How's it? How's it sound now?
What about now? You were talking. Let us know, people. Also, let me know what's going on in the chat. I can't see nothing, you know? Wait a minute.
Yeah,
I just realized I'm not broadcasting. I don't have to have this shit taking up my whole screen. Da-da-da.
Yeah, I mean, you seem to be doing pretty good on there.
Yeah. Give us a second, people. We're adjusting here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we had an eventful week. Despite me being on vacation, it's like, all right, game industry, you really had to blow up now, even though it's not too much of a blow up. A lot of the craziness happened last Friday, that whole GTA thing, which we will be discussing tonight. The fall out of it, obviously, because we discussed it on. Okay, we're episode 403. I had no idea because I don't have my show notes. I'm like, what episode are we into? You know?
Yeah, we're all a little discombobulated because Tony's the keystone.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, no Chris action for a while. He's doing some family things. Yep, I see the chat. Everybody's doing good. Let us know how we sound, man. We'll try to get no chat so far. Now there's chat, motherfuckers.
Yeah, now we're getting it.
Oh, somebody's coming in and out. What's going on?
That was Brett or Brian.
Is that me?
Yeah.
I don't know who that was.
Oh, that might have been me.
Okay, Logic Win said we sound good, so we get into it. By the way, Adam, who knows?
Adam just said, "I'll be there."
He ain't nothing, you know. So yeah, I guess we could start off with a story.
Where there is gears.
He is leaving Carlos behind.
You know?
Oh, man. All right. By the way, so we don't need to go too much over the GTA 6 thing. Watch episode 402 of Throw Down Your Questions. The first half of the show is based around that, but we have to do a follow up because at the time when we were recording it, we're like, me and Chris specifically thought it was a disgruntled employee. No, it turns out it's a 16-year-old kid. Apparently.
Hey, he's really sorry.
Yeah, he is. We'll talk about that, Brett, in a bit. So this isn't, like 100% yet, but it says, and I'm reading this off of The Gamer, the 16-year-old hacker was accused of being a leader of the cyber crime team Lapsus with a $sign after being doxxed by former associates. According to Pom Pom Purin, the hacker who goes by White sent proof in a Telegram chat that they were behind the GTA 6 leaks. They then allegedly removed the evidence as the leaks went viral. Okay, so we don't know if it's a male or female or that, but a 16-year-old kid, you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to get a job.
We
Are you? I mean, are they gonna get? Are they? You think they're gonna?
That's
Kevin,
what usually happens. Like,
you think they're gonna
when
Kevin Mitnick this kid?
Yep. That's what usually happens, right? It's like, oh shit, they're gonna find it. First, they want to know how he did this, and then probably offer him a job. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, I
So
don't know.
the kid's name is just White. That's interesting to me. Let me read this. White was also said to have hacked into Microsoft through their team lapses, which Microsoft addressed in a blog post earlier this year. And then they also hack Uber or something. Like,
Yeah, I think
this
it was Uber
team
too.
got around.
Yeah.
But by the way, this article kept confusing me because they kept referring to the hacker as a they. I'm like, well, what is that? Whatever.
Is
Nouns.
it an anime? What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I don't really know what to say about this. Like, I'm impressed / disturbed that it was a 16-year-old.
Well, dude, here's the thing. Like, like nowadays, like, all this information is so readily available. You get in a crew, you get in, all the information is all out there if you're looking hard enough. I mean, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this, and she's like, she said she wasn't surprised either because of, like, you even look at the art community, you look at kids that are like half our ages that are literally doing professional quality work. Now, how are they doing that? It's because all the information's out there waiting for them. They have a bunch of people they could sort of learn from, as opposed to like us, where we actually literally had to go and read books.
Yeah.
Go to
Books. What are those?
yeah, read books, go to school, stuff like that. So I feel like it's like I think that's what this kid is, where it's like he's
Damn YouTube videos.
yeah, he's probably with YouTube videos. Again, he probably was part of the hacker, part of the hacker group. They taught him how to do it, and they just look for holes and shit.
I thought Manny was gonna say you're part of the Hackers Guild.
The hackers. Apparently, they also hacked. And by the way, see, this was confusing. When they say they, I don't know if they mean the person, the kid, or the group.
I mean, I feel like it might be just him or them because they're not exactly sure if it's a male or female, so they're just saying they.
Yeah, that is confusing. I gotta say though, like at a certain point, yeah, you almost got to go like, I ain't even mad. I'm just impressed now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm both impressed and
now
slightly horrified that a 16-year-old did this.
Well, here's the thing, though.
The question is like, is this type of hacker group like a malicious? Oh, obviously they are a malicious group because they literally
They're hackers.
They're
fucking
because
criminals,
there's certain hacker groups that literally punch holes in a bunch of different like companies.
Those are white hats, Manny, and that is not what's going on. They're not.
No, they're not.
Yeah, Brett, get in here, man, because I know you got something to say.
Okay, well, there's such a thing as there's white hat hackers that basically will go in and find weaknesses and vulnerabilities, and then they'll go to the companies and kind of turn them in for bounties. That's not what this is, right? So the likelihood of getting a job there or being a benevolent hacker otherwise, like, I wouldn't really say that. Now, that being said, my personal feeling goes from like, look, man, I understand that there are savants, and I am not underplaying this kid's talent, right? At 16, that's impressive. But if a 16-year-old kid managed to break into your, classified files, the classified files of like, you have to understand, you have an entire team of adults with adequate resources that are supposed to be locking this down. If one 16-year-old can get through there in their spare time, because I'm pretty sure they're still fucking going to school, so they're doing this shit after school. If one 16-year-old can do this shit to you after school, I'm gonna go ahead and say that your security is not up to snuff.
I'm gonna agree with that assessment.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry, that's just the truth. If like Brett just said, if a 16-year-old hacked your shit, there's something wrong with your security system.
I also mentioned this on the question show. It's like a lot of these not the previous hacks, but a lot of these recent hacks all are like after the pandemic hacks, a bunch of people working at home. There has to be a bunch of security issues by having so many open portals. All you need to do is just find one of them, right?
Yeah, because that was one of the things they were saying. It's like, because people working from home, that's how the hacker was able to do that. Obviously, that's not entirely the case, but that's also not impossible. I know it's not a word, but you know what I'm saying.
Impossible.
Like,
They should be dividing and insulating information.
Well,
I mean that would be just good practice in anything. Like there are people who have kept really big secrets for a very long time, and there's certain ways that you go about doing it. Right? Just because these people didn't manage to doesn't mean that they were also doing a good job of guarding their secrets. Right? If it's not your job, you shouldn't have access to it.
Yeah.
So and they should be able to tell if something is leaked exactly where it comes from, and plug that leak pretty quickly.
Yeah, this shit is crazy.
Again, I'm seeing all signs point to you have lackadaisical security because you thought you didn't need it.
I just want to mention the fact that Throwdown predicted this.
Yeah.
That Rockstar would get hacked.
No. Well, yes and no. There's a slogan that we have on Throwdown. Whenever we talk about GTA, every year someone turns 16 years old.
Yep.
And what just happened? What happened? A 16-year-old.
He turned 16 years old and he
started
kicked the door in.
Yeah.
Now,
he performed his own version of Grand Theft.
So,
to
be clear, what exactly did they lose? They said source code, right? And then they said a bunch of videos. What's the actual thing that they actually had?
Oh, source code, assets, like they, and that's why I kind of said this shit should have been insulated. Like there should never be one access point to have gotten all of this information, especially the source code, right? Being able to directly copy the source code from any outside portal, like you really should be making that part a little bit more locked down. I understand that's gonna be difficult for programmers, but still. So yeah, he got assets, he got videos of assets being tested, he got models, he got source code, from what I understand, for the entirety of GTA 5 and for at least part of GTA 6. So like he cracked their central database and just went on a fucking shopping spree. Like it's obscene the amount of information he got.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe again, like, dude, you guys, like, none of this was encrypted. This reminds me of every time we hear about, like, oh, there was a hack that happened and they kept people's social security numbers in a plain text file. And you're like, fucking why? And it's not like they got into Fort Knox and then found this, improperly stored information. It's because the whole thing beginning to end was a clusterfuck, right? So again, like, none of this was encrypted, none of this was sealed. He was able to get all this information. Once he breached their system, he was just able to go wild. Like, I'm not saying it's not a feat. I'm just saying that there are several people who have full-time jobs to stop this worst case scenario right here.
They didn't do their job,
Yeah, you may want to fire some people.
Exactly. What is it like? Yeah. You only had one job,
You had one job to do.
Yeah. I mean, they probably have like a whole director, like it's probably like their director of security who honestly dropped the ball on this, because again, I'm seeing a lot of bad standard, bad SOPs, a lot of bad standard operating procedures, not insulating information, not sealing things, not having certain security requirements for certain files, like.
Yeah, and again, just to understand the severity of this, they have apparently the source code for GTA 5, the one of the biggest games on Earth right now.
Yeah, they're cash cow.
Yeah, this is what they said. The leakers pretty much holding the shit ransom. They're looking to negotiate a deal.
Yep.
They're dealing with terrorists right now. It's fucking wild, man.
Rockstar did say that heists would eventually come to this game.
No, they're here. They are here. That's crazy.
I don't know. I can't really say anything about the security team other than that there were obviously vulnerabilities because this shit happened, and all of these development teams, Rockstar, the EAs, everyone has their own security team. So who knows how bad their security was. Rockstar said they only had a network breach, and that can mean anything.
Yeah,
that can mean someone stole someone's computer from somewhere and somehow accessed their I don't know, their password or something. Who knows? Like even a couple of years ago, I think it was Target that got breached, and it was because they had a a router in one of their stores that had a vulnerability, and that was on the router. And so it could be a multitude of things. So I have no confidence in saying like exactly what happened in order for this 16-year-old to uh, trespass in the Rockstar servers or the Rockstar repository. So I can't really say if it's impressive or not. But man, it's crazy though.
That's fucking wild. All right, so that was a little bit of a follow up there. Brian, do you have anything to say about the 16-year-old doing this shit?
It's not overly surprising. Again, like these people that spend this time just like learning how to hack and infiltrate these places, they tend to be on the younger side just because they just I, I don't know what it is about them, but they just have this weird knack just want to crack things open. So on the one hand, it's like okay, it's expected, but again, as you guys said, it's a bit terrifying as well. That okay, he was able to do it, and I'm more interested to see how he got in and what techniques he used because I think again I will find that a lot more fascinating
Yeah.
because there's no way that this was like a brute force attack. This was highly calculated, and he knew what he was doing when he got in there and how he got in there. So, like, how much was social engineering? How much was just guessing of passwords and people just leaving things open when they should not be open? You know, like I want to know how he got in. Like, I don't care about the why. I don't care. I just want to know the how. You know, as a case study, not because I want to replicate it. Again, it's genuinely fascinating. It's like, okay, so how did he get in? You know, it's like a heist movie. It's like, okay, so how do they get in the place? You know, like where's the vulnerabilities lie?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I'm
that's
pretty sure Rockstar and the FBI wants to know that too.
yeah.
Very interesting. Adam, what's going on, brother?
And same old shit. Just fucking, Microsoft did this big system update, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, whatever. It said it wasn't changing too much, but it did make some serious changes. I hate when they say that. It was
It
like, oh, that's just
changed everything. What is it? 22H2 came out for Windows
no.
11?
What? No, 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 no. Well, I mean, there is a refresh of the whole OS that's coming for the dashboard, but that's in alpha testing. If you
You
sign
Okay.
up,
talking
you can
about
do that.
Xbox or Windows?
An Xbox, an
Okay, I
Xbox.
thought you were talking about Windows when you said
Yeah, I thought you were talking about
Microsoft.
Windows.
Well,
Yeah.
Microsoft and Xbox. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
because the big Sun Valley update's coming soon. If
about.
it
Yeah.
didn't already come, I'm out of the loop, so I don't
No,
know.
no.
Like I said, well, I'm not on
This
Twitter, so I don't know what the fuck's going on in the world right now.
All
this
I,
You
this
know?
update came out yesterday. This update came out
Oh, for the
yesterday.
Xbox.
Yeah. And
But no, Adam, we were just doing a quick recap of the whole GTA thing. Basically, that it was because remember we said it was like we thought it was a disgruntled employee. Turned out it was a 16-year-old kid.
16-year-old kid. How did he? That's the thing. I couldn't
Like
find
Brian
too
said,
much.
how? We don't know.
That's unless he's connected in some way, like a family member or something, or he saw somebody. There's got to be some way.
No, apparently he's part of some hacker group, and they
Oh,
did this for a bunch of other. They've hacked Samsung, they've hacked Nvidia.
well,
So
is
these guys are
he
getting around.
is he in the States?
We don't know. We don't even know
No.
if it's a he.
Or is she? But they found the person.
We no. It's alleged that it's a 16-year-old.
Oh, okay. Because I saw
Yeah.
reports. It was like, oh, the hacker discovered, and this whole thing. It's like, oh, all right, they caught him,
Nah,
or
no, it's
whoever
still
did.
alleged right now. The FBI is looking for him.
dun,
But
dun,
the
dun.
general consensus, we're impressed, but also slightly terrified.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it happens. It happens.
Yeah, it's just wild.
Maybe it's the same person that's fucking with you, Adam, in your accounts. Remember
What
when
a
you had that one breach
That
when you shared your
pendejo,
password?
No, no, no. That I found out that was a while ago. That was it was an email account that was posted on the dark web and the
Oh
password.
shit!
And
Damn,
and I
Adam.
no, and I got an alert. You'll be surprised if you go digging, you'll see a lot of your shit. So I found it, and while I was trying to change things, somebody at the same time was trying to get in from all over the place. But it seemed like it was mainly from Russia, because I would get
Damn, man.
the two
Perestroika.
fact because I would get the 2-factor authentication message that would pop up on my phone, and it would be in Russian. So they were putting in the information, but then they were getting a response back in their native language from wherever they were typing it. And that's usually how you can determine if it's coming from someone, because people can spoof their IPs and stuff. But
Isn't a lot of that stuff, a lot of Russia pretty much just blocked right now? Whole
I
internet
don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
communications
I don't know
between
what's going. They got all kinds of shit going on over there. They're getting Ukrainian hackers are hacking them and taking down shit and fucking with their gas system and stuff.
them. Oh,
No, we're not the political dance, so
we're
let's
not
not
the
get done.
we're not the PL down.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on, man. What else are we talking about?
Talking about the Queen.
Gotta talk about this shit.
We talk about the Queen.
They talk too much about the Queen. It's like, all right, fine. It happened.
Yo, isn't this
a couple
woman
weeks
dead,
ago.
bruh?
No, they gotta have a tour. Everybody has to
Queen
see
Mother.
the body.
You know?
They had to do, was it 96 days, minutes of bell ringing or something? I'm sure Brian put his headphones on for that shit. You know,
We
yeah,
will ring the bell. We will.
yeah,
Didn't we waste a whole bunch of tea so we didn't have to deal with this shit?
You know?
right, exactly. It's like,
Right?
we can't.
That was perfectly good tea. God damn it.
We broke that tie. Now we got to go and bend the knee. Come on now.
Fuck that shit. Anyway, let's move on because I got to talk about the story because I got dunk on the YouTubers. Okay.
Priorities, yo.
So, oh my God, where do I even begin with this shit? So this gaming insider, right? Is this guy on Twitter? Like I think he was called the Insider, right?
Yeah.
This guy was supposed leaking a bunch of shit right beforehand, and he had a pretty good track record, right? Well, there's a reason why. Turns out the motherfucker was just breaking NDAs, and this is how he got exposed. The way he got exposed is lovely. So as the leaker, he posted something. Somebody asked him a question, and he answered under his actual real name that he's on YouTube for. And when he posted that, he deleted it. But obviously, this is the internet. They caught that, and then guess who came sniffing around? Jason Schreier came sniffing around. He dug up this guy's whole history of shit, and it turns out, this guy's basically, he wasn't an insider at all. He would get the same NDA shit that any other reporter or influencer would get beforehand, and just put it out there.
We see that all the time. We see it happen all the time.
Yeah, but not on this level,
No.
So the guy would eventually come out and make a stupid apology video or whatever.
Was this a Diablo one? This is the Diablo.
Yeah, he leaked Diablo. He did. Remember those Assassin's Creed leaks? No, the motherfucker just broke NDA.
Yeah.
Well, now hold on a second. Let me ask you this: aren't most leaks just people breaking NDA?
No, some are actual leaks.
Yeah, legitimate. Somebody went inside and did this. This is just.
This is someone that was actually given information. Now, granted, no, Brett, that does happen. People breaking embargo, but that's not leaks. It's just motherfuckers breaking embargo.
No, not necessarily just embargo. I said NDA.
Yeah, NDA and embargo are kind of synonymous.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, embargo means you're given shit. It's a very specific thing. NDA can include people working on a game.
Well.
Okay. Yeah. So you know what, Brett? Just to clear everything up, let's go with embargo because that's what it is.
Yeah,
Even though NDA and embargo is the same fucking thing.
Well, the thing is that usually when you sign those sorts of things, you get those things. They say, by taking this, you agree to not, do anything.
Here's the thing about embargoes and NDAs. But just so you know, within the gaming industry, they're interchangeable.
Well, the only thing about an NDA is that they can actually take you to court, whereas an embargo is just
But even when it is do you agree to it? It's based. What happened, Brett?
I thought it was basically hear me out. I thought it was all embargoes were breaking NDA, but not all breaking NDAs are necessarily an embargo, right? There's no embargo in place while the game is still in development. They haven't even set an embargo date because they don't have a release date. But if they came out,
they would lock it. They would lock it behind an NDA.
That's a leak though, right there.
That's a leak.
But NDAs and embargoes are things you agree to.
Well, that's why I was saying. So we're once again, as we do usually, Tony, we're saying the same thing. A leak can be somebody breaking their NDA, when they're working for a company.
Yes.
Right. But breaking embargo is always breaking the NDA that you sign when you are given material.
Yeah, fair enough. But either way, this guy, in this specific case, the guy was given material, and he put it out there after agreeing he would not put it out there. Okay. And there's a lot of levels to this story. There's a lot of levels to this story. The one that gets me is he made an alternate account. That alternate account is the one that's getting all the clout. What does he get out of it if his actual real name isn't involved?
He's probably getting the hits from the advertisers and stuff like that.
Well,
Adam,
no.
you have to understand. No, Adam, this is for a Twitter account.
Oh.
He doesn't get money off of this.
No, he
It's
has
for a
his
Twitter
I
account.
thought
He has
he
his-
posted them on YouTube.
No, on YouTube he posts things legitimately, right? Like the way you and I do when we post our reviews and stuff. On his YouTube, on his platform, he posts stuff legitimately. On Twitter, he is breaking embargoes under a pseudonym.
He wants to have a following.
To be honest, like that's what he said in his video. Like
get that.
He got addicted. He got addicted to the attention.
Popular, Tony.
Well, here's the thing. The rush of being popular under a pseudonym.
That's fine. It doesn't matter. It's a handle.
Sense to me.
What do you mean? There's people that have handles all the time that are under the handle.
Okay. So let me just say this. I have to present. In my opinion, that's stupid.
Ninja.
I get that.
Ninja is under Ninja. We don't give a shit about his real name.
We know what his real name is, though.
I know, but that's not how he advertises it. He doesn't go
What is it, Brian Blevins or something?
But that's not what. It's not. That's not.
Adam. This guy on Twitter was not going the insider, aka blah. He was just the insider. He was just an anonymous dude.
Okay,
that
Tony.
account is getting all the.
I don't see why. Yeah, I get it. I don't see anything wrong.
I think it's okay. So in my opinion, it's fucking stupid. Like, I understand you're getting the dopamine hit and all that shit from like getting all the clicks and stuff. I get that, but it's still fucking stupid. You're not getting the gratification. It's a pseudonym.
Well, I mean, to be honest, he obviously was getting gratification.
Yeah.
Well, he was, but it makes no fucking sense. It's not your real name.
It doesn't matter. Look at this way. Stephen King wrote under other names. I mean,
Stephen King is even a fake name.
But they knew it was.
Yeah, Stephen King is a fake name.
Yeah. And we know it's an actual person, not just an anonymous fucking avatar on Twitter. That's a different thing. You know?
God damn it.
What? Okay, Brett, let Brett talk. He's getting angry now.
Listen, Tony. This is basically a situation like Lex Luthor versus Kingpin, all right? Kingpin isn't in it for the glory or the ego. He's in it for the power, to have people listen to what he says and have influence. Influence and ego aren't always interchanged. You're thinking of Lex Luthor situation where you want to go out there and be like, I'm number fucking one. But some people are happy hiding behind the scenes and pulling strings because it's still power to them.
That makes no fucking sense to me, but okay. That makes no
He
sense.
used the Kingpin. He used the Kingpin on you, man.
The Kingpin's so egotistical too. You know,
Tony. One of the biggest hacker groups in the world is called Anonymous. They're not looking for it. It's just like what Brett said. It's just for the.
Oh no, but I get what they're doing. They want to see the world burn. I get that. You know, they just want to blow shit up.
That's it.
You know?
So this dude just wants to cause.
You know what? Forget it. You guys don't get where I'm coming from. But the point is, this guy got part of a fucking.
We get it. We just don't see the point of that. We were telling you the whole other.
We're telling you, and you're dismissing it.
I get it.
Yeah, you're dismissing us.
I'm not dismissing nothing. I think it's stupid. There's a reason. I accept what you're saying. I think it's dumb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have like a good analogy here. Okay, Tony, do you think that Peter Parker gets gratification when people praise Spider-Man?
No, he gets the gratification of saving people.
Yeah, as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Like, he's still getting the gratification through his persona. Like, again,
but his gratification is saving people. He doesn't care if it's Peter Parker or Spider-Man. His end goal is, I want to save people.
Well, I mean, that's the plot to Spider-Man 3. Remember, he got addicted to the attention that Spider-Man was attention that Spider-Man was getting.
Yeah, but either way, this guy's a fool, and he got exposed. Manny, I'm assuming you saw his video. What did he say?
I sent you the video.
Yeah, no, I know. I saw it. I just didn't watch
it. He just apologized profusely for what he did, and he said exactly what we said, where he got addicted to the dopamine or the thing of the attention that came with this thing. And now he obviously pretty much ruined his YouTube career because
he's done.
This guy, not even that long ago had folks like Young. Yeah, I think he had a David Hayter on. He had a bunch of really good things going for him, and now he needed to fuck that shit up. You know, just because he wanted to be the guy. You know. So, well. Nobody will trust that guy ever again.
I hope it was worth it, dude. I hope it was worth it. You just killed your whole career over this shit. All for internet clout, for a fucking digital avatar. Good for you, buddy. I hope you're very proud of yourself. You know? Moron. I'm glad I was able to do this. This is why I love having Throwdown, because I didn't saying this stuff on Twitter, I was like, let me keep it on the low, because
Game
people are gonna,
journalist says. No, for real.
yeah, exact game journalist Tony Kotaku's gonna make a fucking story and shit, but they don't watch Throwdown, so there you go. But even though everybody was calling them out, think about it, the headline, Paul Tassi from Forbes even goes, turns out that this leaker was just a YouTuber breaking NDA. I'm like, that is the perfect headline for this
Pretty
shit,
much, yeah. That's it. It was a YouTuber breaking NDA.
And this is the shit I keep telling people, right? Even though this guy's done anyway, but like this is why people don't trust YouTubers that much, because they do shit like this.
Any of them, all of them. It doesn't matter.
Well, the thing is, Adam, if you and I do something like that, we're really done.
Well, it's different though, because there's a platform behind us. I mean, our name's out there, and we're posting stuff. This guy, he's hiding it. Like we said, he's purposely putting under that other name, and he's getting the kicks out of it.
And the other thing about it is, like just Tony's just said, if you or Tony were going to do this, you would totally be you would essentially screw over your sites. You would screw over a bunch of stuff. You pretty much would be out of a job. Here's the thing: there's a good chance this dude could survive this shit. Because he may not be able to get the exclusive
access.
The exclusive access to early games or any of that stuff. But to be honest, like, he could probably still survive it if he is able, if people stick around with him. So
no, you're right.
I mean, just go under another name.
Unlike a journalist who once they've fucked up. Remember that Musin guy? That fucker?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
that guy's
was copying other people's
shit.
That
guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, journalists are held to a higher degree of standards than a YouTuber or influencer.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. This guy could come back as doing something else. He could still be doing gaming stuff, but he could still come back. So and again, and we've had this conversation before. I find it ironic how game journalists are accused of like being bribed and all this other shit, yet people will readily trust influencers who are actually basically bribed. That has been proven.
Yeah, I mean,
if that happens with a game journalist, they're fucking done.
You have multiple situations where essentially YouTube channel, like YouTube, groups were essentially being paid by places like Microsoft and other companies to essentially do it. That's why YouTube, YouTube made that thing where they said they have to, the influencers have to say if their videos are being sponsored. Right before any of the video starts. Before, because they were just like making it like, oh hey, I'm just doing this great video about this product I got today. Like,
like, okay, bruh.
So I mean, it's like it's a sort of a double-edged sword when it comes to that stuff. So, obviously you want to be one great thing about a lot of that stuff is that if you're self-sufficient like that, you don't need the game industry to do your job. As long as you get the game, like guys like PewDiePie and those other guys, they don't need the game industry. The game industry needs them because of their followings. So if that dude PewDiePie decided to fuck over, he still have all his thousands of people there.
Yeah, you're right about that. And here's the thing: I'm not going to name names, but there was one website, one PlayStation-centric website that actually did purposely break embargo. They got shit for it, but since the site was so big, Sony still kept dealing with them.
Yes.
So it has happened sometimes.
Did they do it on purpose, or was it an accident?
Yes, it was.
We've seen accidents happen where on the back end you can post date certain things, and then it was like, oh, it came out a day early, and then everybody finds out.
No, this was not an accident in this case.
Here's the thing, we had Tony had this happen years ago, early on when we were doing SCPU and Play, where we accidentally posted an early review for, I think it was Dragon's Crown or something.
Dragon's Crown, yeah.
Yeah. So that thing came out, and we're like, oh, and Tony apologized to marketing people, and they're like,
and pulled the review down,
and they were like, it's okay.
Yeah, but obviously, I still believe if I would have given a bad review, it may have been a different story.
Yeah, definitely.
It would have been like you did on purpose. That's
because and Adam, you'll understand this too. Usually embargoes they lift like at midnight or something like that, right?
They've
So
changed that, but yeah, that
no,
used to be the
yeah,
case.
it used to, yeah, you're right, because this is
Mhm.
like what, Manny, 10 years ago.
Yeah, this is
So
10 years ago.
I'm a newbie guy, right? I'm still getting used to this stuff. So every embargo always ended at midnight, right? I'm like, cool. It breaks midnight. So I set it up for that. The embargo was actually for 12 p.m. So my shit went out 12 hours earlier than was supposed to.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that incident happened, because after that, dude, I fucking quadruple check those NDAs now.
Shit.
You know,
What
I don't
happens
fuck
now?
around with that
What
shit.
happens now? They were like weird times, like 9:15. It's like AM or PM? AM. What region are you in? You know what I mean? It's like, where are you? Is it East Coast, West Coast? Is it European? Because they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And
They use this weird ones like CET. We're like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
BST? Like, use normal shit, please. You know?
If it's
Like, seriously. And I'm gonna keep. I don't know what the fuck that is. That sounds like something from Kojima game or
isn't
something.
that British
you know?
Standard Time or something like that?
I don't like you.
BST is
Listen,
British Standard Time.
if you're sending this to an American journalist, give me 9 a.m. PT, 12 p.m. ET. Give me something I can understand.
What if
you
they
know?
gave?
Same
What if
thing
they
with the
gave?
British guys? Give it to them in their local time.
What
you
if
know?
they gave it in military time?
I've got some of those. I've got some of those. It'll say 2100
Yeah,
or
then
whatever.
I have to Google. It's like, what the fuck is 14 o'clock? You know,
Yeah.
that's 2 o'clock, I believe.
Funny thing is that we have the exact same issue in the world of computing, in that time zones are just the worst thing ever. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
like
Remember
one of
Y2K?
the well, just in general, just
Does
bad.
England just
So
have one? It has just one, right? Time zone in England,
we have
or
two.
two?
England two depends of daylight savings or not.
Fucking farmers.
Exactly. So that's why the best thing to do is just put everything in UTC. So any programmer out there knows exactly what I mean. Just UTC, that's it. There's this time, UTC, everyone can convert to their own time zones, and that's it.
Okay.
I'm sure that
I don't
Carlos
know.
and Chris
I don't know.
will understand
Yeah.
that.
For a while I
Universal
thought
Standard Time. What is that? Is that what that is?
It's just a standardized time zone that everything is measured against. That's why you get like the +2, +5. It's +2 UTSC or -2 UTSC. It's basically the time zone of 0, and everyone else is measured against it.
Interesting.
So yeah, if all embargoes are just under that time zone, and then everyone can convert to their own time zone, life is easier.
life is easy.
Also have to Google that though.
you
know.
man, you have all information at your hands.
Yeah, just like the 16-year-old hacker.
Hey,
right?
But that goes. But
Right?
it's just like what we just said. It's like, oh yeah, of course it's a YouTuber or stream something. Of course it's a 16-year-old in a basement or something. You know,
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I'm surprised it's a 16-year-old.
But this I'm not, because it is a younger group that are doing it.
16 though. I'm like,
yeah,
that boggles my fucking mind.
We've
you
seen
know?
these. What was it? The ones the Korean
16-year-olds
hackers
are fucking morons. Even when we were 16, we were stupid.
No,
you know?
it's a different time. Different time.
Man.
I remember when the first Sony hack for the Sony pictures, and they caught a lot of the guys, and they were young kids all over the place. They were young kids still living at home, 16, 17-year-old guys.
Malleable minds. That's the one thing about a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, when I was 16, I was playing Expert Street Fighter with Manny. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I was doing.
But we also didn't have the internet like they do now.
We were only
this came
getting
later.
onto the
just
internet.
Getting it.
Like
because the internet kind of exactly. Yeah, because the internet just became mainstream like 94, 95, right? Like to everybody.
No, it was probably 96 or 7.
Yeah, like AOL and shit like that.
Yeah, it was around
Netscape.
11th grade when I started getting with the dial-up and dealing with the Prodigy, Prodigy, 14
Tony with the Net Zero.
I was a Net Zero for life, son. Yo, what are we even talking? We just got way off topic, man.
We did.
Anyway, this dude's done. Anyway, Segway Kings right now. Speaking about streaming channels, platforms, we got to talk about Twitch. So they went up and changed their pricing or their revenue sharing. It used to be 70-30. I believe it was 70% goes to the streamer, right? The 30% goes to Twitch. Now it's 50-50. So if you were a big time Twitch person making like substantial money, you just basically got a pay cut.
Yeah, you did. I
You
mean,
know, and this is the shit I keep telling people, right? Well, not telling people. Okay, I don't ask this on Twitter because I don't know how to articulate it in a way that won't get my words twisted. Um, but this is Twitter. I don't think that's possible. But I'll say it here, right? Or ask the question, right? Okay, let me bring it back, right? Me, I'm a gaming journalist slash tech writer, right? I can take my writing skills to any kind of writing, right? I don't have to be conformed to this. Manny is an artist. He, did comic books. Manny's a jack of all trades. He can take those skills to a lot of different places. What skills can you learn as a streamer other than broadcasting? What have you amassed? And
Oh, yeah,
and
there's
then
a
my
lot.
question is, and the question I would ask is, and this is the question I would love to ask, but I don't know if I could get a serious question.
Sir
Do
Sanders.
you see yourself doing this when you're 50, when you're 60?
Yeah, they could definitely do it. They just don't have to be on camera. They can narrate. They can have other people. We've all seen this, where there's groups that are of these streamers banding together and creating like mini organizations
Those
and taking turns.
those days.
The thing is, go ahead, Manny.
Yeah. Those days are sort of like there's only like a few of those now, like like
Yeah.
Kind of Funny and a few other ones. Those
The
sort of
main
like
big ones, Manny, I'm pretty sure you're going to say this. It's one single person on camera, and they are the personality of the thing. That is really a young person's game, and I want to know what they probably haven't. Have they thought forward enough? Okay,
No.
what am I doing now that's going to help me 10, 20, 30 years
No,
from
they
now?
don't.
I don't think they've gone that
They're
far.
not thinking about that. Like, here's the thing. Like, the Twitch space, as much money is it's sort of going through it, it's a very temporary job. And to be honest, if once the bottom falls out of all of this, everybody better make sure they be saving all their pennies that they're making, all their millions of dollars that they're making on these things, because as soon as the bottom drops out, this happened on YouTube. That's why every single one of them go to our Patreon, like that shit, because they're not making the money out of that stuff anymore. So now it's like, like now we're probably to see more Twitch personalities, pumping their OnlyFans or whatever, their Patreon and stuff, so that you go on there, because because again, Amazon sees how much money is flowing through there, and they're bumping the prices up of everything. Freaking Amazon Prime's almost $200 now.
Yeah, like,
It's
hey,
not
we gotta pay for this.
It's
No,
like
no,
100.
It's 120.
It's
120,
150. It's going up to.
Whoa.
Since when?
Soon.
I gotta look this up.
It's going
They
up.
say this. They
Yo,
said
you
this.
read
they
this on
did.
Craigslist? What the hell, man?
Yep,
All right,
they're
man,
going up
I didn't
soon,
get that
man.
email, yo. I didn't get that email.
You didn't go to CD Keys?
Yo,
Yeah,
man.
CD
God,
keys,
that's
I
why.
got
That's
that.
why. That's why I tweeted, like, is there any way I can just opt out of all the other shit and lower the amount of money that I need to pay Amazon?
There is. There is. When you go to Chance Wild, I think you can get it's like $10 or $12 or some shit. There is a way to do it.
Tony, I'm surprised that you don't see the value in Twitch streaming.
I didn't see the value. I don't see the long term of it.
There's definitely a long term for the ones that know how to do the production and stuff, because you can get into
Like, again,
actual
what skills?
a lot of the
like broadcasting, the only thing I could think of that you could do.
No,
a lot of the
broadcasting, you can
YouTubers
do
are like that.
voiceover. Yeah, hell,
lot
I
of the-
saw. I know we talked about it. You point out Greg Miller, he's a special case, but hell, I was watching WWE Network and he's on there hosting a show. He's doing hosting gigs outside of gaming.
He likes wrestling. He's stupid.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I like wrestling too. They didn't give me a job there.
Well, it's because you're not. It's because you don't have a successful YouTube channel that everybody listens to.
But there you go. And there's a lot of these guys are still. That's it. You just answered it. These people are still successful.
By the way,
they can go and do other things.
Well,
by the way, Brett, your question is the reason I don't talk about this on Twitter, because you completely misconstrue what I'm trying to get at.
No. Well, I'm trying to elaborate. I just haven't got a chance over here. What I was trying to say is, like, it's a transferable skill, right? It's hosting, it's emceeing, it's being a personality, it is production, it is all of these things. If you can sit down, trust me, I don't like fucking watching Twitch streamers either, but the most successful of them can sit down and entertain an audience for hours on end with, pretty much just ad-libbing, right? You give them any kind of thing and they can spin that up. that is a useful skill to have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But
And
but here's the
is
thing.
transferable. Like, the way
Here's
you
my,
read
here.
the
Go ahead.
book,
Finish. I got a question.
there
Go ahead.
doesn't need to be a 10-year plan if you make $1 million in a year.
What
but
if
the
you
thing-
don't? Which
but-
most people don't. But here's my question. Just let me get this here. Okay. Let's just say you have 2,000 of these people. How many of those can actually get a job? It trying to go into the one funnel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
the new
I feel like it's just that, like, it, and I think just like certain like wrestlers, there are some wrestlers that are really good at self promotion, and there's some people that aren't. And I feel like a lot of these guys are very good at self promotion, but I don't think a lot of them are like some of these guys, like, what is it, Critical, like that guy is just a dude in his room. Like, he's not producing videos. I mean, he's just streaming them and talking over and over. Is that a production? Is this a production?
It's not. Absolutely not. Go ahead, Carlos.
No.
There's obviously some sort of skills that people can always extract from long hour long experience. I mean, thousands of hours of long experience. But let's the part where I kind of not kind of agree with some of what the rest of the panel is saying is, I think most people it does not carry over. Yeah, you want to bring up Greg Miller, He's one of one.
Yeah.
Like, there's
but there's more. There's
really no
more.
one like
There's
Greg Miller
more.
in this.
There is more. I mean,
Yeah,
we
but they're
talked
all-
about
No, go ahead,
before,
Carlos. Finish
Andrea,
up, Carlos.
another.
But there's certain
Exceptions,
people
though,
that there's certain people that are in the mountaintop. There's a mountaintop and it goes down a little bit. There's still people that are climbing up and higher, and you got a lot of popular people. But most of the people are at the bottom. Most of the people are making.
Well, that's the way it is in the NFL and any other sport. The same thing.
yeah.
Not everybody
If-
that plays
if-
is going to make it to the top.
But if you cut everyone that's off Twitch, only like 1% of those people are gonna get a job that's anywhere near
using those skills that they learned. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's my
I've
point.
seen there's
know?
2 of them that I've seen that have left to go into the corporate world where they handle their marketing and their social media. So they work on the back end of the websites.
But
So
enough
there
about
is
going
ways you
into
can.
They
you
all
can
going
get
to be able to
jobs.
do that?
We
No,
don't.
even
not
then, it
that-
doesn't
no,
matter.
It doesn't matter. It's still
Like-
a way that they can carry over because they've proven that yes, they were successful when they did it for themselves. Now they're going to transfer that to your business.
Sure,
Even then, that doesn't necessarily matter. Like, this is a tale as old as time. So you're literally saying that you can't understand why people would try and be famous because there's only enough room for a small amount of people to be rich and famous. And
No, I'm
everybody
not
who
saying
tries
that.
No, that's not
No,
what he said at all.
That sounds like that sounds like there are a few people who are going to reach that mountaintop. They're going to get famous. They're going to get money, and they're going to ride off into the skill set. But much like fucking ride into the sunset, but much like being a fucking rock star, right? Like, if you don't land the whole being a rock star thing, what are those skills going to lean back on? I don't know, music teacher,
Yeah.
band promoter. Like, there's a couple relevant
Yeah,
skills.
there's
but for the
there's
most
things
part-
you could do if you know how to play an instrument. There's a lot of different things you could do. Instead of being a big rock star, you could be a studio musician, make bank. You could be a teacher, like you said. There's, again, aside from broadcasting, I don't really see
but
what
you
these
need
guys can
class
do
for-
outside of it.
training stuff, and not everybody who tried to be a rock star had physical training. The same way, not everybody in YouTube has broadcast experience, right? Like,
but you
all
can
I'm
only
saying
have
is-
as many broadcasters in this world.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
With broadcasters, there's a very narrow thing there. Just like with rock stars, you can only have so many rock stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like, okay, so
content
yeah, like the
creators
question
that
is
we ever
that
had before.
the question, the larger question is like, after once the dust is settled, obviously, some of those guys have made their money, but especially now, especially since it's now, this was their chief thing that they survived on. Now, what is the next step?
What are you gonna do after that?
What do you do
Well,
after
that's
that?
that's like the with everything.
When the cute girl streamer gets not cute anymore,
Mhm.
what happens? Or
What happens? She becomes a madam, and she gets other cute girls to host. Like, what do you mean? That's how it works for women. We've already seen that. There's plenty of sites that say, "Hey, I'm going to have my friend fill in for me. I'm going," and then next there's someone else, and then that person is the next part timer. They do that on TV shows all the time.
That's sounding dangerously close to something.
It sounds like it, but I
Heidi
mean,
Fleiss shit,
Yeah.
But you mentioned cute girl idea, so that's how that works. That's what they're going to do. They
Well,
keep if
yeah.
they have the following on the site already. They're
You know,
not going
I
to just say,
think,
"Well, I'm cutting it close." And we're like, "Hey, my friend Jill is going to help me out with this."
but you know, again, it's definitely an interesting thing. You know, they're taking money, from the mouths of these people, even though there's millions of dollars coming through this thing that
Yeah.
make everybody is happy. But here's
But
the thing: this was the fear that everybody had when the big corporate monster Amazon decided to get their to worm their way into this platform. It happens
it's like,
it happened with YouTube. And remember when Twitch switched to, became bought by Amazon, they're like, no, 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 we're gonna leave it all alone. Yeah. Just like
for
They always say that. They always say that.
just like
I
Activision
think.
said, no, no, we're gonna leave Blizzard all alone.
This is the reason why you can't make promises, because nothing lasts forever.
Yeah,
That's why they don't do it.
Even
Well,
cold
no.
November rain.
Here's the thing,
exactly.
like the thing
Can't do
about
it.
it is that promises like that are only just meant to shut you up. You see it every single time. Marketing guys do it all the time. They say like, no, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Call of Duty? What are you talking about?
I don't have your money. Frank does. What the hell are you doing with my money, Frank?
Exactly.
Oh man, no, you're right about that. So that's my question. And again, it's me more coming out of like concern. Like I want these people to
I'm
be
not concerned.
successful,
Yeah, not concerned, because it's not going anywhere.
My main thing is like don't count on that as your main job, because these platforms could just pull the rug down from under you and you'll have nothing, and that's disturbing.
There's more. There's so many industries that say the same thing. Same thing. I heard a lot of that in fashion. I had a friend of mine who was big into fashion. From Maria, she did a lot of stuff. Same thing. They were like, "Oh, focus on something else. That's not going to last." How many people actually become big fashion designers? Well, she wound up working for one of these big fashion.
Well, yeah, that can
designers.
happen, but I'm
And
talking
it
about
was-
for the general streamer.
I heard that
Don't
shit
count on
being-
that as your main job.
I heard that shit trying to be an artist.
There you go. Same thing.
Yeah.
Artist, what? Your diamond dozen. Come on now. Everybody can draw.
Well, I would
Right?
say,
There's always something.
I would say as an artist,
Most artists are starving.
a
know,
lot of
that's what I'm
artists
saying.
are starving. I'll still say that, and I'll say the sheer amount of young talent that is essentially coming through the system now, it's way bigger than a lot of it, and a lot of those youngsters get mistreated.
You see?
What happens is when the old guys like me, it's too expensive to pay me my salary, so you let me go.
Of course.
And then what you do is you hire the young new model and abuse that kid until he's the old guy, and then he's too expensive.
But that's almost in every industry. If you get long into from the job, and they're like, "Yo, this guy's making a good amount of money. If we let him go, we can hire 3 other people."
Exactly.
So then let's just do it. Okay, give him the package. Give him the package of the window seat if we're in Japan. Window seat.
But the streamer thing, that thing can change on a dime.
That's what I'm saying.
But they know this. That's the chance.
I don't think they're thinking about that. These kids are like 20 years old.
There's a few that I've followed, and they've talked about it. They were like, I know this isn't forever, but I'm gonna make the best of it while I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm investing money. I'm doing other things.
Some of them are saying that, but not a lot.
Well, that's the
we
way
got to
it is
talk
with
in
everything.
generalities here. Not
Everybody
just,
is saying everything. I mean, look at here's the best example: skateboarding. Skateboarding, huge. Tony Hawk, that was huge. All these clothing companies, and then all of a sudden, once everything started phasing out with the X Games, all those shits bottomed out. Almost all those companies disappeared.
Yeah, very unstable.
Yeah, exactly. What happened to all those skaters? There's documentaries on them. Some became junkies and did nothing. Others,
that's what I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. But Carlos, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, I'm like I mentioned, all this type of industry is so. It could turn on a dime. We talked about this years ago when Adpocalypse happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Adpocalypse happened, and it killed a lot of people's careers.
Why do you think we, for the newer listeners, this is why we're on Twitch right now. We're doing very, very well on YouTube until they decided they changed the rules. We were following the rules the entire time. They changed the rules overnight. We get no traffic. We're like, okay, fuck this. We're moving over to Twitch. Yeah. That's why I'm worried. That's why I'm telling people, don't count on this shit. They could change the rules on you on a dime.
Like even guys like Matt Pat, who's on YouTube, the game theorist, he's always talking. He's got a whole team of people behind the scenes that are just looking at the way trends are running, constantly reading the revised paperwork that YouTube and stuff sends over. So it's a thing. So
Yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. Be careful, people. You
But
know.
he's one of those guys that sort of made it in the last 10 years, and I feel like in the last 10 years, like 2012 to till now, that in that time, I think a lot of growth for new personalities and stuff has sort of shrunk, at least on YouTube.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to say on this topic?
And people can't say, well,
Yo,
another.
man, that means we need to save our pennies a little bit more to get you guys some more games, because yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we actually did get a recent payout, so we got to get you guys some games.
We gotta
You
get
know,
you some games.
no games out. I know that, but Ragnarok is coming, so
Ragnarok. Oh shit, no! What
yeah.
the fuck?
You know, I think put a pin on that. We'll do a Ragnarok giveaway. You know, maybe we'll give away several copies of the game, not just one. You know, yeah, because if by my count, yeah, we could probably give a couple away. So we'll
Nice.
discuss that. You know, and that's all thanks to you guys giving us the bits.
Thank you.
You know, so appreciate that. We give back to you. You know, all right. Okay, usually when we talk about this game, the game that was always making headlines after it came out, it's always bad news every week. Bad news, bad news, bad news. We actually have good Cyberpunk news to report, people. The game has actually seen a resurgence, a renaissance, as it will. Basically, and it's two things, right? First, we had the announcement of the expansion, right? Because they've gotten to the game to a state where they feel it's stable enough, and it is. I've been playing it. Brett has been playing it to varying levels of.
I don't agree with that statement.
Yeah. Oh, you're playing on Xbox. We'll get that on that bit. I've been playing on PS5, so at least anecdotally, I'm like, yeah, this is better than it was before. But anyway, so the DLC was announced, the expansion. They got people interested. Then this fucking anime came out, and it kind of just blew everything up.
The anime was actually announced when the game game launched.
Yeah, exactly. So the anime came out, it's doing very, very well, and now Cyberpunk is getting 1 million players a day. Fucking insane.
It's
wild.
It's like, I think it's a really, like, at least the anime is actually a really good advertisement for the actual game. Like, I would say a lot of they literally set that thing in the world. Yeah, the anime. They set it in the game because, like, you literally see sites that you could see. You could actually visit the places. They're actually well-known places from the game. Even places that are not well-known. There's still places that were sought out. So it's almost like and the fact that this new DLC incorporates things from the anime that you would know. If you watch the anime, you'll find these things. And like, oh,
by the way, that's not the DLC. I mean, that is the DLC. The expansion.
It's part of that expansion.
Yeah, I know, because the expansion's not yet, but that little thing is in the game now, because I ran into it randomly. And the thing is, so you have the anime bringing interest, and then you actually have the game, and I know Brett has a different experience, but people are playing like, it's actually playable. It actually works. Like, I'm playing where I'm like, oh my God, why didn't this game launch? You know what I'm saying? So it's a good time. So hopefully I'm wrong, because I said this game is beyond saving right now. Hopefully I'm wrong and that's not the case, and we actually will see a redemption story. It looks like it's happening.
I feel like it's just like any, like, at least this thing. I think they're just, now that all the dust has sort of settled, it's like, okay, let's really get to work and get this shit running.
There was always a good game underneath all the bugs and glitches and the drama and all that. There was always a good game under there. It was just hard to see with all that shit on top of it.
Well, it just seemed to come one after another, man. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Delay. Broken game.
Yeah, being sued, all this other shit was ridiculous.
Yeah,
hackers. Remember that movie we were talking about hackers, right? These motherfuckers got hacked.
And not to mention them being hacked, not to mention them also, the whole mystery, the mystery of the review copies, where essentially everybody's putting out these glowing reviews, but they were only playing the PC version, and they could only post screenshots and video directly from them.
And the chairs.
and the chairs
The
that went
chairs.
out. The chairs that went. So I guess everybody can take. I guess everybody can feel okay now, and they can take their yellow chair out of the closet, and nobody will want to crucify them, right?
Yeah, a little bit. So yeah, no, it's seeing a revival, and I'm pretty happy about it because I've said this before, and I said this again. Like, there's no other game that lets you play a big cyberpunk world like that. It's awesome. It's fucking Akira, Blade Runner, RoboCop, all these things, mixed together. Akira. I feel like I'm driving around Neo Tokyo. It's fucking amazing.
Well, I mean, like a lot of Japan was very, inspired by, stuff like the Cyberpunk, pen and paper game, those, books like Neuromancer, Blade Runner, stuff like that. So this is all up their alley.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because the DLC, or at least the add-on, because it's not it's just downloads or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see the anime, and I'm watching this, I'm like, oh shit, this is like the old anime we used to watch because it was all cyberpunk back then.
Mm-hmm.
All that
hand
shit,
drawn too.
all hand drawn. That's right. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But Brett, I know you've been having a little bit of issues with the game on Xbox, right?
I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I've been having several issues. Nothing that I would say makes the game unplayable, and I'm actually still. I finished it. I had a really good time.
Game of the year?
No. The only thing that I really kind of disagree with is CD Projekt Red's idea that they're happy with where the game is now, because I was just kind of like, you shouldn't be. Like, there is still some weirdness going on. Signs of the game kind of still flicker on me. Not the way that they're supposed to. I've had doors not open, quests not progress, weather systems stall over. I had a dust storm roll into Night City with me one time.
Right, I gotta stop you. Okay, I sunk 100 hours into this game on PC, right? Played about 50-ish hours on PlayStation. Then I finally saw a dust storm in the city. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? So I experienced that too. I'm like, wait, hold on, this is not right. And Brett, you're gonna love this. I gotta post this about this. So I was driving around. There's a dust storm in the city. I go to start a mission on a rooftop, clear as day.
Yep.
So I saw that too. That's the first time I ever saw a dust storm in the middle of the city. Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Don't let me. Yeah, audio bugs. Don't get me wrong. There is still some issues that pop out there, but compared to what it used to be, it's a lot better. But no, some of that shit pops up. Like, for example, I select the radio station, nothing happens, or I go to a mission and it just doesn't want to activate. So I got to restart it, come back.
So from a level of broken, where would you say it is? Is it Bethesda broken?
No, it's not that broken.
Oh, come on! I'd say, well, I don't know what you're.
Remember, it's anecdotal. I'm talking about right now.
I don't know what your level is, but like,
it was Bethesda broken to me.
Bethesda's usually graphical glitches. You may even have some tracking issues and some NPCs like walking into a wall or queuing up wrong.
That's not my experience with the games.
Did you have quest progression issues?
Yes, in Skyrim on PC.
Okay.
Oh shit.
And that's where it anecdotally comes in. Like, I've never had a Bethesda game have quest progression lock out on me. I've never had to get to that point. I've just had weird graphical issues. In Cyberpunk, I did have several times where I had to restart the console to get the quest to trigger right. That being said, I got to eventually go right. As long as the answer of turning it off and turning it back on works, I'm fine. It's fine. It's whatever. It's when that doesn't work that I start to get upset.
I hear you, man.
I finished the whole thing. This is one of the few games. Not that there's that many, but the few games that I think Tony and I really hit a lot of the same notes on. It's awesome going through this world. It's awesome seeing all this cyberpunk stuff. It really does feel lived in when it feels lived in, and then something will happen, and then it won't at all. So you can see like really good bones, and it almost to me looks like you could really see where they were thinking about laying multiplayer over this whole thing.
Right, but I gotta throw something at you because I need your thoughts on this, right? Because I don't know how to feel about this. Okay, so it's pretty clear that they overreached, for the lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to come down on them hard. It's like, okay, you tried to overreach, you didn't make it, but the fact that they tried to overreach, I can kind of respect that.
I mean, yes, reach for the stars. So if you miss, you'll shoot for the moon. So even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. All that bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a certain amount of discrepancy that happens. Like the things that we love in there are the things that it clearly does right. And if it had done everything at that level, the game would have been genre changing, generational. It would have just been the new GTA. They would have hit that note. But there was a lot of hit and miss to it, and
Yeah.
it's one of those. Yeah, if they could have hit all of those notes, like man, that would have it would have just been amazing. We can't think that if they had missed all the notes that they kind of went mediocre on or landed kind of sour on, then the game would be truly god awful. Saints Row, sorry.
Eh.
So it to me that landing in between really I keep that in perspective of you got some fives, some tens. I'm trying not to see this as, oh, you could have gotten all tens, because that's frankly not what the game shows me.
Yeah.
But the bones in it are so good. A lot of the flaws are so superfluous, and they're laid over such good voice acting and
It's
storytelling.
really good writing, man. It's
Yeah,
really
there's
good. Yeah.
great storytelling, even to the point where like there are times where this game just fucking pulls out the rug from under you. It Game of Thrones your ass.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, did I do something wrong, or is just everybody who likes me die?
Hmm.
I'm not used to this outside of Elden Ring. But there's some really good storytelling in there, some really great environmental storytelling.
Yeah,
I
the
think if it
side
had
stories are
another 10 years,
great too, man.
yeah,
You know.
if it had another 10 years, it would be awesome. If they
Mm.
continually sunk into it, it could eventually be awesome.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do a sequel and it'll actually realize what they were trying to achieve with this game. You know, because again, there's something there that's special that you don't get from a lot of games. You know, because I'm trying to think about like, oh, like I want to play Deus Ex Human Revolution after this fantastic game, but it's not on this scale, man.
So
It's not on this scale. You know.
let me ask you, do you think the community would be more critical on them if they went back on what they said and decided to make more DLC after this, or if they decided to make a sequel?
I think at this point, another expansion would probably be welcomed. You know,
Yeah, I think it'd be welcome. I don't know if the sequel would be though, because a lot of people be like, okay, so
it
you
might be
fixed
too
that shit,
early.
you want to charge me again?
Yeah, it might be too early for that, but I think because remember, The Witcher got a bunch of expansions. People love those, so if they do that for this game, keep it going. You know, and again, I love the fact that the new DLC they said fuck last gen, which is what they should have done in the first place. You know, because remember, a lot of the issues that this game faces because they were trying to get it to work on last gen. Because if you played this game on PC, buggy, but it was still working. If you played it on PS5 and Xbox Series X, you were still relatively okay. You try to play it on PS4 and Xbox One, it was all fucked up. You know, and I've
Tony,
said, you know,
I'm
yeah.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because if you look at the new features that they're implementing, new driving mechanics, new fighting mechanics,
Good.
improved AI, improved police system, right? We talk all the time about what processing power does for video games, and this is a great clear-cut example. They can't do a lot of these improved systems on the last gen, so they're ditching them, and that's when we're getting them. So yeah, improved AI, improved melee combat, improved traffic AI and police systems. All of these things that we're getting are because they're ditching the older consoles. So like it's always so hard to put a fine point on what games need other than better graphics, and why they need hardware that's dedicated more than just, heavy shaders and,
Mm.
GPU. So this is just one of those times I like to point out clear-cut example of that. Here's what you get from CPU.
And I'm going to tell you this right now: if this DLC, this expansion, gives you a semblance or even close resemblance of what was promised in that initial reveal trailer, oh my fucking god, this game could really blow up. You know,
Oh
and it
yeah.
could actually reach its true potential. You know, so
Mhm.
I'm excited over the future for this game. You know, this is good, and keep making more animes from Studio Trigger. You know, just keep it
Yeah,
going.
Yeah,
You know,
it's nice. It's always nice to see Studio Trigger doing stuff like.
they're fucking
I
great.
feel like though with the video game adaptations, Netflix has been on a pretty good roll.
Oh, damn, yeah, they have.
Like they
Yep,
did
yep,
the
yeah.
Castlevania, they got Arcane, and that blew up. And then, also the, what was it? Dota's actually not bad. And then they have this one, which is the Cyberpunk one. So I'm like, mm.
All right, cool, good stuff. Adam,
Marketing.
happy place. That's all I'm going to say about that. At happy place, happy place.
I just like how
Already
like
have it.
just take the
Oh, man.
enthusiasm that you guys have for Cyberpunk and
As it
just
currently
imagine
stands,
that,
as it currently
yeah,
stands.
as it currently stands, and take that and then look back at all the podcasts that we did and my thoughts towards Cyberpunk was going to be. And then
Yeah.
you'll see why I was like, yeah, you know what, these guys, they can do good games, so I'm gonna give them a pass. Like you guys now understand what I mean by like, yeah, these devs can do good work if they do good work. Hence why I was excited for Cyberpunk.
Oh no,
like
I
that.
agree with
If
that.
they're
And
if
Brian,
they're
I think,
allowed
and I,
if they're allowed to do their job.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
that's it. That's
if
all.
they do
Yep,
good
yep.
work, then they can do great work, and that's why I'm like, yeah, these guys are something different. It's not the usual standard stuff of, oh, it's just another Ubisoft game or just another that game. Like
Brian,
when
yeah.
that's when CD Projekt Red do good work, they do really good work, and that's why I like them. And again, again, it wasn't just nothing. It was like, yeah, they have good substance. So
So
let's see what happens next.
Yeah,
Who
hold
knows?
on, Brian.
so
I gotta throw something at you because I was thinking about this too. Imagine, and Brian, I'm asking you so. Imagine what this game would have been if it was done by the standard Western studio. Think about
You mean it
that.
would have been Watch Dogs?
It would have been Saints Row.
Whooping Saints Row.
It would have
Oh,
been
Brett.
Saints Row because
Speaking
Brian,
of,
hold on, Brian, because I'm talking to you right now, bro. This is real right now, man. Because I was thinking about you when I'm playing this game. Like specifically the conversation we have mostly off air. It's like this game, every mission has edge to it, right? The world just feels dangerous and shit. And I'm like, this is the thing games no longer have that are supposed to be set in dangerous worlds. Saints Row is supposed to be this dangerous world or whatever, and it's just bland now.
it's
I don't think a Ubisoft, I don't think any of these other companies would have been able to do this. But CD Projekt Red, being crazy Polish motherfuckers, they're like, we're gonna do what we're gonna do. So,
I
what is
think
your thoughts on that, Brian?
yeah, exactly. Like I like how they're just not afraid to tackle like just really not dangerous topics, but really not controversial, but just
Uncomfortable.
yeah,
Yeah.
they tackle really uncomfortable storylines, and that's what makes them good. It like again, there's one storyline I don't know if you guys have played, but it's about the guy who I can't say it.
Is he the second
Oh,
coming, Brian?
There
well, even
is one storyline that's
No,
pretty
not the
fucking
second coming.
disturbing.
there's a few,
Well,
even the
there's
first
there's
one. For
many.
anybody who ever played, just the first mission, that the girl that you have to save and why you have to save her. There's some heavy duty stories.
Yeah.
Right off the bat,
Exactly.
they're telling you.
It
No, but there's
is
one with kids involved, Brian, if you know what I'm getting
okay.
at, where
Okay.
yeah.
It is the one where you eventually go to like the high top tower palace thing, and you eventually go behind one of the walls. I think that's the
Yes.
best way to say it.
That
And how that
mission
plays
was
out.
fucking that disturbed me.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's why I like it. It's like
Yeah.
these things that again you don't see them anywhere else. You just and for them just dump it in your lap and say, okay, cool. Here's what's going on. Now what? What are you gonna do?
well,
Like,
I
the
feel
game just
like
turns to you and says, like, now what do you do? Like, this is player control. What are your thoughts? What are you gonna do afterwards? Like, how do you react in this situation? And
Yeah.
you react and you get the outcome.
No, it's funny about that because I literally just finished that mission yesterday, and the whole time I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing here. The
well,
whole time that was my thought. I'm like, I don't know
Mhm.
if I'm doing the right thing here.
Here's
And
the-
not only that, I didn't know what the fuck, how, like, I didn't know how it would be resolved any other way. It was like, this is great. Go ahead, Manny.
Yeah,
Well,
you
I
didn't
mean,
know what
that's
the right thing was. The
that's
whole game
Yeah.
like that.
that's the
Yeah.
whole sort of world dimension that that world is. It's essentially somewhat of a mirror, somewhat of a gray area. Because think about it, like in the world of Cyberpunk, what is your goal? Your goal is to essentially become the biggest thing in the town, but that can't
Your
last.
goal's really to survive, you
The
know?
role is to survive and try to get to the top in some fashion.
Yeah.
Whether it
Actually,
be
in this
part
game,
of your,
it's literally to survive. I don't want to spoil the story, but
yeah, but
that's the
like,
whole story. Is just something's
but
in your
like
head, and yeah,
everybody's ambition in that world is to try to get out or try to get over on the world, whether it be
yeah,
Yeah.
through
It starts out-
cybernetics,
it
whether
starts
it
out
be
like he
through
says.
business, whether it
Yep.
be through a bunch of, everybody's trying to move their way up in some way. But then the constant story that you always hear is that they get sort of some of the things that they want, but the thing is that what's the cost?
yeah.
And I think I'm sure that's a lot of the storylines here, where it's like, well, I really wanted to do this thing, but I had to brutally murder 1,000 people and do, it's like that sort of idea.
There's this one story, and this line kind of tells you everything you need to know about Night City. Like, they find a guy, like, how did he die? Like, oh, he died of old age. Like, dying of old age in Night City? He must have won the lottery.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
great,
because
man. Great
everybody's all
writing. Yeah.
cybernetic, right?
No, because everybody gets murdered.
Yeah,
You don't
everybody
live.
dies.
Yeah, everybody gets killed. This guy actually just died peacefully in his sleep, and they're like, "That's weird,"
Well,
you know.
And a lot of the times it's bitter medicine. Like Kadame says, it's you get what you want, and the story ends up kind of like, well, I guess that's what they asked for, but
Mhm.
in like the most genie's wish kind of way possible.
Yeah, it's always the djinn, right? It's like you make the wish and the wish is fulfilled, but what was the cost? What did you
Monkey's paw.
Yeah, exactly. Monkey's paw, the djinn. It's that sort of idea where it's like, yeah, it's it sounds good with the wish that you had, but at the same time, look what happened. What you left behind. And it seems like everybody in that Night City world has that sort of story that they had. Like, who are the? Is there anyone that's sort of generally honest?
Well, that's the thing. The few people that you meet in this game that are honest, you like legit feel sorry for them because you're like, oh, you poor summer child. You have no idea what's coming. you know, it's crazy. Great game, great stuff, man. I'm glad the game's getting a bounce back. All right, good stuff.
It's like it's definitely. I think we said this a long time ago. It would definitely be an achievement if they're able to pull it out, and I feel like they're slowly but surely climbing their way up through. They're essentially they went from being top dog, being the top corpo, right?
Yeah, right.
And they shot straight to the bottom, and now
that's actually the story of Corpo V.
Yep.
That is exactly their
there you
story.
Go. They're literally Corpo V.
Yep. At the top, all the way down, and gotta go back up. But struggle to survive.
Yeah.
I
don't think anybody there's struggling to survive though.
No.
Well, I just gotta say, Brian. It's nice being on this side of the fence with you for once.
Yeah. Again, I am too. I'm happy that this game is bouncing back.
Yes.
Again, it is hard work these devs put in now, I guess. So it's nice that it's paying off. So yeah, unlike other Taints Row games.
All right.
Yes, I did call it Taints Row.
Taints. Yeah, may as well. This is bad. It's just bad.
Hopefully by this time next year they'll have all the bugs ironed out, and that's when you'll get the Game of the Year edition. With all the
Cyberpunk.
That's what they do. That's how they do with the.
I wonder if that's in the cards now.
Anniversary edition. That's what they'll do.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's all in the cards though. Like if they once they've squashed all the. Squashed as much as they could in it, and they got all the city up and running because there's literally large portions of the city that are literally blocked off, and they're like important, like corpo areas and stuff like that. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep. All right. Let's move on. The last two stories are Sony related and not good stories. So this is interesting to me. So PSVR 1 games will not work on PSVR 2.
Come on, man.
What the fuck, man?
No backward compatibility again? Come on.
Nope.
Come on, Ryan.
And we're not even talking like old shit, so they can't even say, well, it's like the old. This is what people were just using as of yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's not gonna work.
Thank you to all of our early supporters, and go fuck yourselves.
It makes no sense to me. Like I could see PSVR 2 games not working for PSVR 1. Fine, I get that, but what? I don't know, man.
Yeah, they would. They would obviously need to, because it has a different. Obviously, uses a different, the motion system. All those games would have to be, upgraded. Now the thing about it is,
Give that option. That's it. Just let the developer say, hey, it's like, hey, do you want to upgrade your game? Damn right, because we were selling. So we'll do the upgrade. Just send us the development kit, and we'll figure this shit out.
I mean, like last generation, they released an Iron Man game. So can that company go back and be like, we've patched it up and made it all pretty?
They did a Batman game too. Remember that was that Batman.
They'll sell to you again. Don't worry.
That's what they'll do. They'll sell it to you as a remaster for $70. There you go.
We talked about that, right? About how Ubisoft's the other company that's like, $70. By the way, okay, so this happened on the recent episode of the official PlayStation podcast. So this isn't a rumor or anything. I'm reading this off of Kotaku, who will probably do another story on me soon. So Hideaki Nishino, they were talking to him. He said that PSVR games are not compatible with PSVR 2 because PSVR 2 is designed to deliver a truly next-gen VR experience. Usual spiel. Nishino highlighted the advanced features set of the PSVR 2 as the apparent reason for this, specifically the haptic feedback-ready controllers with adaptive triggers, as well as inside-out tracking and eye tracking, among others. He said developing games for PSVR 2 requires a whole different approach than the original PSVR.
Okay, hold on. I call bullshit. What the fuck does new features have to do with your ability to continue running old features?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it like what?
That was the most corporate bullshit I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You know what? What other device was supposed to provide a next generation experience?
Kinect.
The PS5.
The PS5. And we're still playing PS4 fucking games, man.
This is true. Cyberpunk, sorry, that's a PS4 game too.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that. So yeah, I call BS on this. I'm sorry, this is BS.
I like how he took
it sounds like they're
criticism.
giving the Connect defense, what I call it. Like our features are so connected into our system, we couldn't possibly remove it.
But at least with the Connect played the old shit too. At least,
yeah, it did. Yeah,
they were forcing it.
Literally, he went. I hear your concern. Sales tactics, sales pitch.
They
very Nintendo way of doing things. By the way,
though the thing about it is that they didn't, get talked to by a legitimate journalist. They got to talk within their safe space. They're talking on the PlayStation blog, where those guys aren't going to ask any fucking hard questions, right? They're just there.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's the place of the PlayStation podcast.
They're just there. Yeah. They're just there to set the table, and then they just keep they set it so that they can eat it up. But it's not going to be anything offensive or anything any ground shaking shit. Well,
that seems like. Can you make me a peanut butter and jelly? I am a 5-star chef. That didn't answer my fucking question.
I don't even have this. He said this is just stupid, So
if any of the stuff that happened with the PlayStation 3 or what's happening with all that stuff is any indication about what people want, and the thing about it is that we're hearing a lot of we're giving this to you. You better accept this. More than just or rather than like, hey, listen, we know that there's not going to be a lot of games out on the launch of this thing, so every single one of your PlayStation VR games are all been upgraded, and they'll be able to use use limited features, but you'll be able to experience them as better than they were ever before. That's what they should be saying.
Yeah, I said sorry, too bad. Get a PSVR 2.
Get a PSVR 2. So
it's next gen. All right, bro.
Next gen. Come on.
Damn it, Sony.
Don't worry, bro. We got another Sony story coming up.
And again, there is no. I don't think that these features are so revolutionary that they're somehow lock the door on the previous generation of thing.
the question now is, does this put a bad taste in the previous owner's mouths? That's the point.
That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah,
They're
like,
like, you know what? I'm not
Well,
going to
why
get
don't
this
we
one
ask
because then,
previous owners, Brett and
well,
Carlos?
they already abandoned it. They're not active users on it. I mean, wonder people that are constantly buying it, trying to support it, like, yeah, it's going to grow, and then just find out, oh, by the way, all the shit you were playing, none of it's going to work. Because I would think that if I heard something like this, I'm like, well, I'm not going to invest money in this because you're just going to pull the rug out from under me for that one and be like, oh, the third one, not going to work with the second one. It's like, no, not good.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at.
So,
you set
Yeah,
it on
no, I'm
fire,
done.
just like
If I want to focus on the hobby of VR, I had a real VR headset.
yeah.
go to Facebook.
Oh
Nope.
God.
Nope, I said a real VR headset.
Oh,
Yo, man, you been dunking on the Oculus.
Oh
No,
no,
that's not-
it's
not-
a perfect. It's a perfectly capable spyware machine that also doubles as a VR headset.
Mhm.
Oh man.
I do find this whole thing just really funny because, like, let me take you back like 2 years ago, back when they announced the PS5 and how you could play your PS4 games on there, and there was a big controversy where you weren't allowed to use your PS4 controller to play your PS5 games on the PS5, and I was like, oh, that's a bit stupid, you know. So ever since then, yeah, it was you motherfuckers who asked for this, and this is what you get. Like, if you don't hold them accountable to any type of bullshit, then they just, again, you give them an inch, they take a mile. And this is exactly what it is. They're taking a mile because, hey, people accept this, and that's it. So I'm like, okay, cool, you can play your PSVR games on PSVR 2. Fine, people are mad, not my problem anymore, don't care. You know, if people want Sony to do dumb shit, then all they need to do is just support Sony's dumb shit, and then it just gets worse. So it's kind of like, let them have it. You know, I'm sat here with my popcorn, just watching people be mad. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at Sony for doing this, by the way. Like, I really am not mad because I don't care. Like, I literally have no opinion, don't care. I'm just enjoying the fallout.
It's funny when it's an artificial gate like that, right? Like, oh, you can't.
The controller is an artificial gate, and that's
Yeah,
the issue that I had with it. It's
yeah,
like you
you're
can
right.
literally like, I'm sure that you can remote play your PS5 games on your damn Steam Deck, and that does none of the DualSense features. Like, I'm going to try that my next show, and I'll let you know.
You can show
Yeah,
the remote play,
seriously.
it'll play whatever. Yeah,
I'm going to get Astrobot. Is Astrobot or Astro Boy?
Astrobot.
Astrobot, yeah.
Astrobot. I'm going to play Astrobot remote play on my Steam Deck and let you know how that turns out, because it's so damn artificial. It pissed me off. But now I'm like, yep, let them do whatever artificial bullshit that they want to do. I don't care. People deserve this.
Spoken like a true PC gamer.
Love it.
Dude, this is why PC gamers don't put up with shit, because like Brian's saying, you give an inch, they'll take a mile. You let down your guard for one goddamn minute,
But
everything just
but you
bursts
can't.
into flames.
But you can't bullshit a PC gamer, because they're already, most PC gamers are technically inclined in order to be able to do it. They're like, no, man, this is bullshit. You can literally do this.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
PC gamers don't give a fuck. Remember when they tried to, like, charge them online? It's like, yeah, we're not gonna do that.
No, we're not
gonna
going
play
to
our
do that.
games for
I think
free,
in
motherfuckers.
general, it's like, it's not like in the magic land of console gaming where essentially, again, the general audience machinery, where, oh, we don't know how this magical device works. Really?
It's a toy. It's a toy.
Yeah.
That's it. That's in the toy section.
The VCR doesn't fit these other tapes.
Yeah. All right, man. And the last story of the night here. So in a recent interview with Shuhei Yoshida that he gave to Game Industry Biz, she basically said that they believe in the premium release of a title before subscription. It's basically reiterating what they've been doing. It's like, hey,
Yes.
listen, we're gonna put a game out, let it run its course, then we'll throw it on a subscription.
Yes.
Because Sony still believes that devalues their games.
Yes, this. If anybody is surprised by this, they're an idiot, because this is exactly what they've been doing.
Yeah,
They just didn't put a giant signpost, a dumb signpost on it for the idiots out there to be like, oh, hey, this is what we're doing. No, they've been doing this. Their structure has been doing this ever since. You're not going to see those big cornerstone games on the subscription service day one, and you're not going to see those cornerstone games on with the PC releases either. You're going to see it once when everything starts to fall down. That's when you'll see it, and that's when they get that little extra shot in the arm for the people, from the players that didn't get to play it yet.
Yeah. So basically, the people who weren't convinced by Sony's actions, now they told you were words, even though their actions alone should have been enough.
They've been doing this for a while now. Like we've been saying this at least from the beginning, whenever PlayStation Plus was when they started offering free games on PlayStation Plus. It's like, hey, how come those new games aren't available on there? Oh, because they want you to buy them.
Yeah, it's just half-assing their services. They know that they can do it, and it would bring buco bucks if they did it, and they don't want to do it.
I think again, it's like they're until they can fully prove that their essentially that their subscription service can be sustained by that structure, like the Microsoft structure.
But people still buy the games. That's the thing. That's one thing that Microsoft proved from the Game Pass, that people.
Well, remember, Adam, Xbox Game Pass it's not profitable yet. Sony is probably waiting for it to be profitable. Then they'll try it.
That's when you'll start to see it. When the day that Microsoft says, "Hey, we're making record profits with the subscription service that we got going on here," yada yada, tell you the numbers and all that other stuff.
Oh, well, that's still not going to help.
That's the point. That's the point when Sony goes from a toe dip to a full-on foot in the water. They can't do it.
It won't work. It won't work. It won't work then. Because look, then at that point, look how long it took Microsoft to get that off the ground to work. Because let's say if it happens, I don't know, 2024, we just made a profit. Holy shit, over 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then you think Sony's going to say, shit, can we hold out and hope for 5 years that we can build that number and get that?
What will happen is, again, it'll be another sort of toe dip. Right now it'll be right now it's the first toe dip, or I guess a little more deeper foot dip is the idea of essentially like, hey, we're putting those exclusive indie games on there. That's like that's like shit like Rocket League. That's shit like what was that one that was exclusive for a while, the one that got hit big with the stupid, it's like
Fall Guys.
Yeah, Fall Guys, that was also another thing. Stuff like that. So those sorts of things.
Toe dip. Here's the toe dip for the new services. Has anybody here, I think we talked about this, nobody here upgraded to those new plans?
No.
Fuck no.
So there goes the toe dip on that end.
Well, again, that's them. They're testing the water.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
The water, yeah, and it's obviously not enough to do it.
It's not enough. I don't know anybody even outside of this that have signed up for those.
But you see when they're committed. So like again, like this years ago. I mean, it's over 10 years now. But like, when with the PlayStation 3, right? They initially introduced their service, PlayStation Plus, and what did their PlayStation Plus include? It didn't include anything about any games. It just said you get what was it? You get demos and you get all this other stuff that just like, why would anybody do it? And then to really get people down with it, that's when they said, "Oh, free games for your PlayStation 3 and your Vita and PSP." That's when.
But it's not enough now because no one's jumping for those new plans. So
people will jump on those plans when there's something of
exactly something new.
Yeah,
not throwing some old shit that was there a year ago and be like, oh
yeah. But at the current time, they're fine with making the money that they are because they're making a ton of money from these first party games that sell like hotcakes.
I think what you do is you'll see what I call a middle A sort of title under to sort of be the sacrificial lamb, like that. The first version of that is, what was that game? The one with the cars and shit.
Rocket League.
Not Rocket League, the other one, the one that's trying to be Rocket League and
what, Destruction All Stars?
Destruction All Stars. That was them.
Actually, Manny, I'll give you a toe dip. Stray. Remember, you could get that kind of for free if you signed up to the upper tier.
Yeah, but they have 2 deals on Stray though. Stray has two. They have two deals. Like they have, because that's not a PlayStation title. That's like a multi-platform.
No, it's
title.
not, but it's on play. It's on one of those services. Again, that's the toe dip. Like, hey, let's see what happens if we put a game on
On there.
here. Let's
Yeah.
see what happens.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. The toe
But
dip.
I mean,
yeah.
but then again, it's like how do you essentially?
But look how they're
compete?
doing. They're not even doing one of their games. You know?
It's not even one of their games, and then it's like, how do you compete with the idea that Microsoft is doing? Essentially, you get it for free with their
Yeah.
service. So it's like either you upgrade to what their bigger service to get it, or Microsoft, or it's already waiting for you. So, yeah.
On 2 platforms, on the Xbox and PC.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta wonder, like, if you guys are so confident in your premium release titles, then why'd you have to go and raise them $10?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know motherfuckers are
Because
going to
they
buy
know
them.
they're
That's
gonna
why.
still buy it.
Actually,
yeah.
Exactly.
Since we're here kind of at the end of the show, I can actually bring this up. So we're not to go too far out of the gaming spectrum, but I was listening to an NPR podcast as I was driving around. That was actually talking. They were talking with an economist, and they were talking about the predatory behaviors a lot of larger companies have been practicing in
Mm-hmm.
Post-pandemic, where they're making record profits, but they're still raising prices, and that we're kind of in this unprecedented time because while there are many laws against price gouging, it's a lot of the industry leaders kind of setting that example right now, and so it's becoming systemic, and it's difficult to handle. Like, how do you handle price gouging when everybody suddenly starts taking place in it?
No, the thing about that is that everybody's agreeing to do it. That's why the proof of this was years ago with the gas prices when gas prices spiked years ago. Like, there was no reasoning why they did it. They just did it to essentially prove that they could.
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of situation in this thing. They're trying to blame the manufacturing of in Asia. They're trying to blame all this other stuff. Why shipping costs and stuff. No, they're really just charging more because they can.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, especially the publicly traded companies like the Microsofts and all of those, the Sonys, like they make their certain amount of revenue each quarter, and when they're a publicly traded company and people are buying their shares, there's an expectation that every quarter and every year those numbers are supposed to go up. If
Mm-hmm.
not, people start selling the company. They don't think that they're going to be making profit, that it's a lost cost, and then their company starts going down. So it's always that cat and mouse game, and obviously the people that have it the worst are always the end consumer. It just happens to be the case the whole time.
It's not our fault they decided to gamble with their fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Go ahead.
So it's they're making a lot of money because they're raising the prices of their products, but it just so happens that and the transportation and the shortages are a factor, but they're a factor for the worst, and they're raising prices because, I mean, even if they still charge the same price for their products, they still be making a lot of profit, but they just won't be making the same profit that they made the last quarter, and that looks bad for the company whenever they talk to their shareholders, and that's why they have to raise the prices for the in their heads.
Yeah, I'm just saying that according to economic models, the market is supposed to correct by people getting pissed and not buying their stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see when that point hits, because right now people just seem gluttons for it, man.
Well, I mean, if there's
there are people that are proud to be paying $70 for games,
and then there's others that are just looking at these prices and saying no fucking way. I mean, a lot of the toy market these days, all the prices of fake action figures and stuff have all gone up to like the $50 mark for a lot of these things, and they're just regular off the shelf things. So it's like, at that point, that's a premium product. That's not just something you just get for little Jimmy anymore. That's that's a legitimate investment. If your fucking action figure that's created by Hasbro is costing you $50, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's always the McDonald's model, where it's They see the prices of the Big Mac and of the dollar menu. The dollar menu doesn't even exist anymore. There's pretty much everything that was in the dollar menu is way over $1 at this point.
Yeah.
And everything is going up. Gas prices are going up. McDonald's and food and all this stuff, consumer goods is going up.
Oh
So
shit, man.
yeah, but some things I will say, some things don't make sense why they're going up as much. Some things I do understand. With video games, I actually do understand why they, especially AAA produced
Yeah.
video games. I understand why they're going up in price. Because we've been at $60 for more than a decade.
Yeah.
So that makes a little bit more sense. It's not like they're just rug pulling us out of nowhere where video games were 50 and now they're just going up to 70 all of a sudden. We've seen this coming. It just happened. That
Like
this
I
was
said,
a
I
time
was
where-
it's such a-
surprised. I was surprised. Games didn't cost $70 last generation,
It's
just
a-
because of
yeah.
the fact that it's been going on like this since.
I
for
actually
two
thought it was going to
generations,
get. I
you know?
thought it was going to get cheaper, thanks to mobile phones and how games for $1 and we're selling like hotcakes, and then they were going free to play. I'm like, all right, so now they're going to try to
Well,
find that.
Yeah, it's a
middle ground.
different kind of
Well-
game,
well,
though.
there-
You know,
yeah,
cheap
but-
little clicky mobile games and shit. You know,
Not anymore.
because Adam, if that, I mean, if we're taking that into account, then by definition, video games are probably cheaper now than they've ever been.
That is
Because
true.
There's millions and millions of $1 freaking Flappy Birds in iOS and Android that are, averaging down the price of the average video.
That's a
game.
good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, they
I
actually
mean-
are averaging it out. Yeah.
That's the whole point of DLC, though. DLC, not even season pass, just DLC itself was supposed to be keeping us out of this rut, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to help them recoup steep development costs by being able to utilize mostly the same assets, the same engine, and being able to port it directly to consumers. Therefore, getting around big box retailers like
GameStop.
yeah,
And when
like
I
Yeah,
didn't
but then
think
you
that-
got horse
and then-
armor.
hold on,
You
hold
know,
on,
thank
hold
you,
on.
Bethesda.
let's just really point out too that like Sony and Microsoft both now own their marketplaces, right? Like they're not having to pay Target, they're not having to pay Walmart. Like in terms of them making money, they're making way more money than they did before. It's not like they're having to raise the price to recoup or negate losses. They're already making record amounts of money selling stuff. They're making all the money from their own games, and then the money from all the other games on the marketplace, and then all the subscriptions, and then all the DLCs on top of that, and then all the season pass on top of that. Like we've almost gone 1 foot into games as a service, and that's why it seems kind of the natural evolution for me. No, I don't want to pay for every single fighter, but I don't mind the idea of kind of like, okay, so we're paying more a la carte, which gives the incentive for you to keep coming out with more content, and it allows you to develop fan bases. This seemed well on both ends, and then we're like, okay, cool, DLC, sure, even season pass, I'll pay you for the DLC up front. They kind of took that and ran with it. like back
But
to what
he's not
Brian.
even. Yeah,
Ah,
I mean,
But Brandon, hold on.
70 bucks
This
doesn't even give you that.
hold on real quick. This is important to point out. That was the idea of DLC. Instead, what we got was, hey, let's hold this content back and then charge them more later. You
That's what I'm
know?
saying. We got the worst of all of the deals because we slacked off. We gave them an inch, and they just gave us the worst conditions of every scenario.
We got the worst of the deals. See?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the worst deals. Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. You go to find a place for that C, Carlos.
Oh no,
Deals. Yeah.
No, we got the worst of the deals. See?
There you go. Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah. By the way, Blitz, I saw your comment about it. I was like, great, DLC's all fucked up. Yeah, the idea was great. It's like, hey, you like this game? We'll make more content for you. That was the idea. The reality was, fuck this whole shit back. You know?
Well, it's not over that. It's not just the $70. You're paying the $70 and you're not getting anything else in it. The DLCs and the battle passes, that's still all separate.
And again,
then
you
those
still
are-
are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
and
Adam.
those are going to be in the other tiers, right? Because that's the other thing. All of them have multiple tiers now. You go to buy one, and then you'll see like 3 to 4 different tiers of what's included.
Oh my
you know,
god, those fucking charts.
Yeah, it's like a chart.
I remember Sonic Origins, man.
Yeah.
Shit. You know,
Yeah.
you need a PhD to read that
Yeah,
shit.
it's like this is ridiculous. I mean, even with stuff Forge and what was it that other game that everyone was bitching about? What's the God of War one that you don't even get the game? There's one tier that you can buy all this other fucking tchotchke shit.
The collector's edition,
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't even get the game. So it's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, and
So
here's the thing: you could theoretically argue that you pay more than $70 for games anyway.
of
That's
On
what
course,
regular.
that's my argument. How much
yeah.
how much does it cost for the whole game? Just tell me how much does it cost for the whole game? That's like saying how much does it cost for the whole pizza? Oh, it's $2 a slice. It's not what I fucking asked. How much does it cost for the whole pizza? Like, well, do you want crust with that? Yes, the whole thing. Like the completed every bit of it. How much does the whole thing cost? And now it's oftentimes hundreds of dollars, if not thousands.
Yeah, no, you're right. And with some specific games, like we saw with Diablo Immortal, you want to get everything. What is it, like $100,000? Something fucking
It's
ridiculous.
so ridiculous. But you
You
know what?
know?
And I honestly think that developers didn't even think about like why would somebody want every item for every class? That's usually not how people play. You pick one or two, and you go with
Oh,
it.
Adam, we both know they want those whales. If you
Uh,
get two motherfuckers that do that, you're good to go.
oh,
Because
man.
there's always going to be crazy people like that want everything. And as a collector, I know what I know what I'm talking, but I like my money more. Because I'd be one of those crazy motherfuckers, but I like my money.
Oh,
But it's not even the whales. It's the well, typically they're going for the 14, 16-year-old crowd
Oh, those
because
16-year-old hackers, man.
The hackers, yeah.
yeah, well, not so much now, but like I'm not sure if the data still holds up, but it used to be that those were the people with the most disposable income and the most income that wasn't
It's
there.
the
It was kind of
18 was it 18 to 44 or something like that, 1845. They upped it. Before it was like 18 to 35. Now it's a little
Adam just raised it
Interesting.
up so they can
yeah,
include
this is
him.
on
I'm
my
gonna say you raised it by a decade. It was supposed to be 18 to
I
34.
only know this from wrestling because they're always talking about their ratings and the demographics. All about the demo. Hit the demo for the disposable, and then the disposables from 18 now it jumped up because those old people now are doing collecting. Our generation are big into buying shit as opposed to the
Yeah,
other
that's
one
true.
wasn't.
Yeah. Trying to relive the golden years,
Yeah,
man.
that's it. Fucking,
You know?
it's like when you know this when you start seeing toys like what was it, the He-Man, Skeletor Castle stuff, and it said for collectors, adult collector item.
Mhm.
It's like a lot of things just throwing an adult collector item on it.
Adult collector item.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it's saying.
Interesting.
Well, that they put those things on there so that they don't get demonetized by the algorithm on YouTube. Because
Yeah.
apparently, if you say toy and all that other stuff on YouTube, then they can essentially mark it as something for children. So that's why they say
You gotta be
adult
careful.
collectibles.
how
Yeah.
far we've come from GI Joe.
Right?
Oh, yeah, you got G.I.
yeah,
Joe now.
G.I. Joe's a whole other world, man.
Oh,
That's M for mature right there. Be careful.
Yeah. All right, man. I think we're done. Good show. Good show. Good show. Do we have anything to plug?
Not really.
Oh,
Um,
Adam
But
probably
these
does.
two
though.
may got something.
Hey, there you go.
I just want to give a shout out to Brian. Happy birthday, Brian. We missed it, so happy birthday. Yeah, nothing really going on. That's it. I mean, we did the
Mothership. What's going on, man?
mothership. Not to another few more weeks. What, 2 more weeks? Till October.
A week and a half.
Week and a half. That's right. So if you're into Walking Dead, we got I Am Negan. That's myself, Rich Bailey Jr., and Carlos. We cover all things Walking Dead for the shows, and there's a lot of spin-offs, and a lot of them dying faster than they're popping out now. Depending on the sites, I still have questions about that report that we saw the other day. But yeah. So if you're interested in The Walking Dead, which is coming back for the third chapter for final season, that's how they're wording it. So. You can join us. It's I Am Negan on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and also at the Coalition. That's where the Coalition. And yeah, jump in. That's it. We just finished Tales of the Walking Dead. It was hot garbage. That was a spoiler, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you want to hear us rant about it, you can check that out too.
Wasn't there one episode you actually liked though?
Yeah, D that had
It was-
Alpha in it. That was it.
It was the one that was actually canon towards the Walking Dead proper.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then everything else was like Tales from the Dark Side. Remember that bullshit that was
I
on
remember
like
Tales from the Dark
TVN?
Side. Yeah.
It's just like it was like a wannabe toned down version of the Twilight Zone. That's what this shit.
Well, I mean, Tales of the Dark Side was its own thing. Same thing with what was that, Creep Show?
I like Tales from the Dark Side
They're
movie.
fun.
Remember, you promised you'd never tell.
Well, he's talking about the series too.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the movie.
No,
I like
not
that.
the movie. Not the
In a
movie.
sunlit world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt like there was never a good episode. Like I was always hyped to see. I'm like, there's got to be something. It's got to be like.
You know
Gotta
what?
have something.
You know who that was created by?
Carlos, what
that
an
was
hour and 40 minutes.
that was actually created by Carlos Romero's uncle.
Carlos Romero.
Yeah, it's his uncle. It's his uncle John.
Yeah, okay.
John
Yeah,
Romero?
okay,
John
I thought you said
Romero,
it was
man.
invented by Carlos Romero. That'd
No,
be
it's
dope,
his uncle.
though.
It's his uncle. It's his
Yeah,
uncle
George.
John Romero.
Shitting on that on the show, and Carlos will be keeping secrets. It's like, yeah.
See, I like our Romero because he keeps it real. He's like, I'm Hispanic. You know, it's like these other guys try to hide it. It's like, no, man, you're fucking Hispanic. You know,
Caesar, why don't you tell people?
that's
you're
what I'm
Puerto Rican?
saying. You fucking, you know, we had a fucking Goya fucking Joker this whole time. We're not celebrating that. You know, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. Accept it.
Yeah,
you
man.
know? Embrace it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He
Joaquin?
Yo,
oh, no.
Twitch, where's the fucking tacos and Mexican hats?
No, man, like
motherfuckers?
Romero, the Joker. Caesar. He was, he's so Hispanic. He kept his mustache while he was
That
he
is
was
true.
the Joker.
That's some baller
You
shit.
don't
You know?
didn't want to.
No, I do not. I do not get rid of the mustache.
I don't get rid of the mustache.
No. That's how he talks in my head. You know, when he's all fair. You know, no, we do not get rid of these. You know, why is he talking like Antonio Banderas?
Or you're thinking Ricardo Montalban?
Yeah, hey, there you go.
I do not get rid of these.
Man, I was watching Wrath of Khan 2 the other day on the screen. Oh man, what a great fucking movie! And Khan, he's just on screen. You're hooked. You know,
no, he's friggin' Ricardo Montalban is just chewing
He's
all the
eating
scenery. He
Yep.
literally, but you gotta look at it like he's gotta go again. His scenery chewing has to go against William Shatner's scenery chewing.
Here's something about the movie: they're never in a scene together.
They're never in a scene together.
They just talk. They're never in a scene together.
Talking to screens.
Yeah.
I do have a question. This might be a controversial one.
Uh-oh.
Which Khan do you like better? The one in the episode or the one in the Wrath of Khan movie?
What in the episode? I mean, it's the same guy, but that scene, that dinner scene, oh, so good. You know, they're just like playing off each other and stuff. Yeah.
The one where he's like a smooth motherfucker, man. The one when he's talking to the chick.
Oh yeah.
He's like,
yeah,
leave.
You
Or
know, leave.
if that is what you
go
wish.
or stay, but only if that is what you wish.
To do.
Oh man. The tactician.
I'll
stay.
You know. He's like, I notice you only speak in military terms. Yo, honest as shit, Ricardo Montalban for life, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here. So thank you for watching Throwdown. We had a lot of fun as always. Make sure you follow us on Twitch and Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Join the Discord where Bob Hits is always dropping the craziest rumors and the conversations are always flying. You know, and yes, Blitz, you can talk about Nintendo all you want. I may say fuck Nintendo every once in a while, but please continue talking about them. We do not forbid any gaming topics around these areas. We are on every podcast app on the Planet Throwdown Show. Remember, we are now on Samsung Podcast, which is very exciting. So look forward to that. I think it's like a brand new kind of platform. So, you know, we're up there. Also, what was it? We were like kind of featured on some other podcast platform recently, thanks to Danny Pena. What was it, Carlos?
Oh, it was Spotify. He had
Spotify, right? Yeah.
Danny created a Spotify playlist. And, and he included us, you know, along with a couple of other of our peers.
Yes, shout out to Danny. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be seeing Danny soon. He's going to be in town for Comic-Con.
Whoa! Wait a minute.
Yeah, what's up?
By the way, I actually do have an announcement to make.
Have an announcement to make.
I'm going to be at,
Manny, are you busting out a Barry Burton?
I'm going to be I'm going to be at New York Comic Con. I was Yep, they contacted me and it's all good to go. Yep.
So many
they felt bad. What's going on?
Actually going to Comic-Con now.
Yes, I am. I'm going to have a table this year.
Oh shit! They know they fucked up. They knew they fucked up, man.
No, man, I supported them fools since the beginning.
By the way, real quick story. I remember one year I applied to Comic-Con and I got rejected. I'm like, all right, well, fuck these guys, you know. Then Tatiana, she goes on Twitter, tags Comic-Con, and the host or whoever the organizer starts yelling at them. Tony's been doing this shit for years. Literally that day, you've been accepted at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah, man.
You know, 'cause I'm like, yeah, I've been going here for like 10 fucking years, man. What the fuck? You know, but I didn't apply this year because that's not my beat anymore. You know, although I may do something, but I can't talk about that at the moment.
I mean,
so
I always, I have ways.
yes,
If you ever have,
so
if you have the urge. So
this is true, Manny. I may have to take you up on that offer. But there's something else I can't talk about it now, but I'll tell you off air. Anyway, so yeah, throwdownshow.com to listen to previous episodes, and yes, YouTube. You know, we were talking shit about YouTube and YouTubers. If you've been watching us on YouTube and you enjoyed the content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of when our premieres go live. Links to everything down below. Manny, what's up?
I was just gonna say, shout out to the YouTuber guys because you've been holding it up. We got some pretty good watches on some of our pretty recent shows, so it's not bad. So
yeah, no, I'm noticing the numbers going up a little bit. So good, you know. I'll think I'm still salty against YouTube, you know, just being honest, but I'm glad the people are enjoying it. Wherever you can get Throwdown, man, that's all we care about, you know. Anyway, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
See you next time.
Carlos Romero.
Yo, I'm gonna sell my 3080 and name it a 4080 8 GB version.
By the way, we didn't talk about that because that would be a little bit of a conflict with my normal job, but I'm very upset with NVIDIA right now, you know?
And not just EVGA, Tony, man.
On that 4080. That's just 4070. May as well just call it that, you know? Fucking get a
Ridiculous,
30 get a 30 series card. Fuck 40 series. Adam Vale.
You'll have fun playing that Call of Duty open beta this weekend. Woo!
Oh shit, let's go. Brett Murdoch.
Or instead just get a Steam Deck.
You know, shit, I got mine right here. What's it at? Steam Deck, boys. Let's go. And of course, Brian Manjoma.
Speaking of the Steam Deck, I can confirm you can play Astro's Playroom Remote Play using a Steam Deck. So all this proprietary, you can't use the PS4 controller to play PS5 games is pure BS.
Oh shit! You can also play Nintendo Switch games on Steam Deck too. Anyway, people, we'll see you. Oh, what's up, Adam?
No, it's just something that I maybe you guys, everybody knew this. So you know, the Microsoft announced the Pro controller. The Series 2 that you can do colors and stuff. They did some update.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? And they were reading the specs. I never paid attention. And they said, force feedback or some weird feedback definition for the triggers, which is the haptic feedback. I didn't know that's the Pro controller has the haptic feedback.
Or the Elite controller?
Yeah, the Elite. The Elite 2 has haptic feedback, but they gave it some other name for it. I was like, oh. Yeah.
Call it the Phil Bounce. I don't know.
Yeah, they call it some weird shit.
Anyway, we'll see you on Sunday, people. Later.
Later, guys.